Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Ann Williams, and I am Continuing Education Course Coordinator here at Muskegon Community College. And we want to welcome you today to our Community Outreach Update Show. What is the purpose of our show? Well, our show will give you details and highlights on events that we are partnering with our community partners. Today we want to welcome Mr. Lane Sterenberg. Lane is an adjunct instructor here at MCC, and he teaches Math 38, Math 40, and Math 50. Mr. Sterenberg graduated from Grand Haven High School and also a graduate of Muskegon Community College. He continued his studies at Grand Valley State University and received his business administration with a finance major in 1986. Later in 1996, he completed another major in occupational safety and health and obtained his master's in education from Aquaponics in 2006. He has taught middle school science in Florida and high school math in North Carolina for 3 years. Well, Mr. Lane's interest in aquaponics started when he moved back home from working out of state. He started replacing flower beds in his own lawn with plants that produce foods and has been growing food plants without dirt for about a year. His belief is that aquaponics is a sustainable way of growing food locally and is excited and awaiting the opportunity to share this valuable information with our community. As you can guess, we're talking today about aquaponics. Thank you, Lane, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Your enthusiasm for aquaponics has spilled over onto me, and now I am just really excited to hear what you have to say, and I'm happy that you took time out of your schedule to be with us. I too believe that you have found a wonderful way, shall we say, a healthy way, to help our community to not only save money, but to find a non-invasive way of growing plants. So before we get started, first, can you just tell me, what is aquaponics?
Aquaponics at its basic level is growing fish and vegetables together. You take a tank of fish, the fish pee in the water, and through a bacterial process, you take that fish waste and convert it into a fertilizer that the plants can use. So it's a closed loop system. The fish provide the waste. The plants get fertilizer from that waste, and then the fish get clean water back. And well, I want to use the word sustainable. Yeah, it's just a closed loop system. You can just run it like this. Harvest the plants occasionally, harvest the fish occasionally, and it's a well-run system.
Wow. Now, why do you feel that there's a need for this in Michigan?
Okay, there's a lot of little needs, and well, there's a lot of reasons. Let me start with the personal reason for me. It's like I think we need to be more independent. People grow food for us, and we buy the food, and we work to make money and buy the food. And if there was an interruption in that process, if we got laid off, for example, then what do you do for food? I mean, we're not set up to grow our own food. So I like that. I'm enough of a student of history to reflect a little bit on the idea that about 120 years ago, everybody was on a farm, or almost everybody worked on their own farm. 120 years ago isn't that long, I mean, I don't know anybody that's lived that long, but I mean, 120 years is like, anyway, I think that's relatively close to us, okay? People moved away from the farm onto factories, and for some people it worked out great. For some people it didn't work out so good. They didn't make enough money working in the factory to replace all the things that they had on the farm. If you grow your own food, you get good food. That's so to me, that independence, being able to grow your own, is kind of my personal reason. Okay, some of the other reasons, food distribution right now involves trucking food from where it's grown to where it's consumed. That process on an economic basis, they want to buy the food from a grower as cheaply as possible. Okay, so right off the bat, we get cheap food, right? Okay. Then it's going to get trucked, sometimes more than 1,000 miles, like from California or from Florida or whatever. It's going to get trucked a long ways, and to us to eat it, right? Well, in that process, first of all, they got to pick it green. They don't pick it ripe. They have to do things to it along the way, either refrigerate it, put it in carbon dioxide, or spray it with chemicals, or do something to keep it from rotting. To get here. Then they have to do things to it so that it looks nice on a brightly lit shelf at the store, right?
Right.
So anyway, if you grow food in your own yard, you're going to get better food. Okay. Before I get off this whole trucking thing, the idea that this truck burns diesel fuel to get me my head of lettuce when I could have grown it in my own yard is another big reason. Let me touch on the whole fish as part of our diet thing also. Fish is a very efficient food protein source. If you feed a fish a pound and a little bit more, like 1.1 pounds of food, right? You get a pound of fish.
Wow.
Because they're just floating in the water, right? It doesn't take a lot of muscle or a lot of energy to move around. They're just suspended in water. This is my imitation of a fish being suspended in water. But if you compare that to a cow, right? It takes 7 pounds of feed to make 1 pound of cow.
Wow.
So in terms of, how should the world run, world hunger would be eliminated. That's a little bit of a strong word, but it could be eliminated if we'd switch from beef to fish, just because it is so much more efficient to raise fish than it is to raise beef. So that's on the scale of big and small. That's really kind of a big reason. We're looking at the population increasing over the next 20 or 30 years, yes. Like another billion people, kind of a thing. And it's like our distribution process right now is having some trouble feeding everybody. I mean, there are hungry people in the world, right?
Correct.
So if we could go to a more efficient system, that would be better.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're very passionate and very knowledgeable about that, and I appreciate your sharing. Can you tell me what has motivated you? I understand the reasons you think that it is important here in Michigan, but what motivates you to push for this?
It's kind of fun. The independence is really my passion. It's like if I lost my job, if something weird happened, I would like to be able to start up and grow enough fish and enough food to feed myself and my family. So that is the real passion. Michigan is a fairly good place to do this. People have they've been growing fish in ponds in Michigan for a long time. It seems like it'd be a problem because the ponds freeze, but there's a trick to that. They put a bubbler up through the water, and as long as the carbon dioxide gets out, the fish survive the winter, and you can grow fish in Michigan. It works out well. So yeah, to me personally, it's the independence and the almost doomsday prepper kind of a thing. And I want to be ready if there's something happens to the whole process of me earning money, buying food, eating food. If something happens to that system, I want to be able to just grow food.
Well, that sounds wonderful. Now, you think the time is now?
I think so. The population is growing, and our food distribution system is having trouble. It's reaching limits. Economically, I don't like that somebody else is totally in control of what I eat. I like working here at MCC. I have a good employer, fortunately. But if that situation changes, if I went to work somewhere else and got laid off, or just didn't get paid enough, people that make enough money eat well. People that make a little bit less than that, eating well is one of the things that suffers. you end up with more carbs and more fat, and to buy good meat, good fish, and good vegetables is expensive.
Yeah.
And I think many people are in that boat right now. It's like they're working, they have a job, but it's like they don't really have enough to pay for the phone and pay for cable and pay for the house and pay for the car and buy the good stuff when it comes to food. So yeah, I think that's very important.
So now, where did you first hear about this?
I don't have a great story there. Our house has, our garage faces south, okay? And there's an alley back there. And, we've always kind of tried to grow things back there, but it's been like a frying pan because the garage is painted white and it reflects the sun and it's just too hot, right, basically to grow stuff there. So one idea that I had is I took a PVC pipe and I drilled holes in it. I put dirt in this pipe and I planted beans in that pipe, right? And then I rigged up a little like sprinkler, kind of a thing to put water in this pipe, every so often, thinking that the pipe would hold on to the water. The bean plant, could take the sun okay, right?
Right.
But my problem is that it just got so hot that everything would dry up, and you almost couldn't water it fast enough, for everything to dry up. So in that worked out pretty well. Honestly, I didn't even know there was such a thing as hydroponics, which is growing things without dirt. And a lot of times they'll do it in a pipe. They'll have a pipe. And they'll drill holes in it. They'll put plants in there, and they'll flow water through. Sometimes they just put water through the pipe. There's water at the bottom of the pipe. The roots of the plant, engage or pick up that water, and they just kind of continuously flow it through. Send the water through there. Another way of doing this is where you have gravel. The roots of the plant grow down through the gravel, and you put the water in the gravel with fertilizer in it. Plants take the fertilizer from the dirt, whether it's rotted things or manure or whatever. But plant roots will pick up what they need from the dirt. You can totally replace that process with getting the roots in contact with water on a regular basis. So whether you do it in gravel or do it, with just the roots dangling in water, that works. So from this bean experiment behind our garage, I went online and learned about hydroponics. Hydroponics is where you just get the fertilizer out of a bottle. What I was taught, or what I saw online, I just had a compost bucket. In the behind the garage, I'd put grass clippings in there, and I'd put some dirt in there, and I'd put some I got some manure from a guy that raises horses, put all this stuff in there, and then what I would do is I'd pour water through the top, excuse me, and the water would trickle through there, and this muddy looking stuff would come out the bottom, and I would pour that into this system, right?
Okay.
That is hydroponics, right? Just growing things without dirt.
Yes.
Okay. So I did go through that stage, and then I just kind of stumbled across it online that some people don't do the hydroponics, that they actually use the fish for the fertilizer. And then I did actually go to a seminar on that down in Florida, and that's where it's like, oh my goodness, this is the way to go. What I saw down in Florida, these a couple gals have a very large greenhouse down there, like a football field size greenhouse, right? Mm-hmm. And what happens is they have a big tank of fish. They maybe have 300-400 fish. Not a lot, but 300 or 400 fish. They do have the gravel situation, which let me explain that. I'll be a little bit off topic just for a second, but you need gravel in an aquaponic system because the fish waste, which is basically ammonia,
okay,
has to be converted into a nitrate. There are two bacteria that help do that, Nitrosinoma and Nitrospira. One of them, Nitrosinoma, will take the ammonia from the fish waste and eat it, basically, and release a nitrite. A different bacteria, this Nitrospira, will take that nitrite, eat it, and then release a nitrate. A nitrate in solution is a plant's dream. You know, a nitrate is basic fertilizer. If you buy fertilizer at a store, it's got 3 numbers, and that first number is the nitrate that's in there. So the fact that the nitrate is there is good. The fact that it's in water is very good, because you can put it, you can run the water right by the roots, right to the roots of the plant, and it's like right there. It's breakfast. You know, it's like, you know, time. You know, it works out really, really well. So the situation that I saw down in Florida. They have the fish, they have the gravel, you know, to be the host site for this bacteria. And they have very, very, very long grow beds for lettuce. These grow beds are about the size of this table. They're about 4 feet wide, but they're like 100 yards long. And what they'll do is they'll take styrofoam and drill holes in this styrofoam and put a lettuce plant in that hole.
Okay.
The lettuce roots will dangle, down below, and these beds are about 6 or 8 inches deep, right? So the fish pee in the water, goes through the gravel, becomes a nitrate. They run the water, from one end of these things down to the other, and they're growing lettuce like mad. 2 things help them do this. Number one, since the nitrate is in the water, they can put the lettuce really close together. In dirt, lettuce competes for breakfast or for its nutrition, right?
Okay.
In an aquaponics system, you can throw as much nitrate in there as you want based on how much you feed the fish, right? If the lettuce is a little bit hungry today, I'll feed the fish some more. They'll have more waste, and the whole thing works out really good. So you can put them closer together, and they grow faster. A head of lettuce grows at about 11 weeks ish in dirt, where in aquaponics you can do it close to 6 weeks.
Wow.
So they're closer together. You get them more often. So people are making money doing this.
Oh, now I don't want to really cut anything off, but I see that our time is winding down, and I do have one couple of things that we want to make sure that our viewers hear, that you're offering a course at MCC that will start in October. What is the date again?
October 16th.
October 16th.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night from 6
to 8.
6:30
to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30, a 2-hour class. And how much is that class?
$90-some. I think it's 93 or something.
Yes, and so anyone that is interested in learning more can pick up with your lecture at this class, come out. There's no limit. We say we would love to have 20 to 30 students, but we're just excited about this new venture. And now, are there any other programs like this in Michigan?
There are other people doing it, I know, because when I buy things, like I bought a big fish tank, and they, oh yeah, you're another one of those aquaponics guys. Okay, so I know people are doing it. We're working with McLaughlin Grows. We set up a site there so that they can grow lettuce with fish, but I don't know of very many. I know there's a website that I subscribe to that shows another aquaponics enthusiast up in Traverse City, and then I'm kind of it down here. I'm sure there are, but I don't know of very many that are doing this right now. A lot of people are raising fish, just regular aquaculture, right?
Right.
But I don't know of a lot of people that are doing the whole lettuce and fish thing together.
So this program is basically more a self-efficient or a self-reliant, which is, and it is in conjunction with Healthy Muskegon, with all of the talk about obesity and Michigan being one of the highest obesity states. Yep. This would really help curb some of those numbers. So we're excited about that. One thing that we do want to touch on with Lane is the growing power.
Okay.
This gives growing. What is Growing Power?
Growing Power is a program that Will Allen does in Milwaukee. I'll show you the book in a second, but it's Milwaukee has some things that in common with Muskegon. The economic base is about the same. I think they're a little bit bigger than us, but I mean there's a lot of similarities between Milwaukee and Muskegon. In Milwaukee, Will Allen has this aquaponic program that employs people to grow good food for themselves or for their neighborhoods, right? So. I'm excited about all those things, right? I mean, there are people in Muskegon that need jobs. There are people in Muskegon that aren't eating right, and this can address both of those things.
It can open up some doors of
Yep.
opportunity.
Yep.
So we're really could get that information out there. Once again, the class is called Aquaponics. It will be held here at MCC. That's on a Wednesday night from 6:30 to 8:30, and that class will begin let's see what the date again, October 16th. And that will end on December the 11th. So we want to invite you to join this course. How to register? Visit www.muskegoncc.edu/CE and find out how you can become a part of Lane's class here at MCC. Now, you brought some books to share with us today. Let's see what the books look like for this class.
Will Allen's book, he's doing a fantastic job in Milwaukee. He's getting, I forget how many tons of food, excuse me, off from, I think they have a 3-acre or a 4-acre site, but he's just getting astronomical amounts of food out of this. He's changing a lot of lives. I mean, a lot of people are working for him and getting excited about growing food that, quite frankly, weren't excited about much of anything before. It's a fantastic program. To say that there are similarities between Muskegon and Milwaukee, oh my goodness, it would be so cool if we could do something like this.
Great.
This is the book that we're going to use for a text in class. It's Sylvia Bernstein's book, the Aquaponic Gardening. Her book is fairly well laid out, I think, in terms of she hits on all the bases. Yes, I like it as a textbook. It does it at a pace that I think is very understandable. And when you get done reading through this book and taking this class, you're going to be able to do this. You're going to be able to go home and do it. We're going to talk about all the design elements, and you'll be able to get it done.
Wow. Now, I'm really excited about that because my husband just paddles around a little bit with gardening, and that would be very interesting for him to do and for me to understand as well. So we're excited about the class. We're excited about what you've had to offer for us, and you have this aquaponics growing in your own backyard.
I do this at my house. Yep.
Oh, right. So it's something you can do right at home.
Yep.
Something you can do right at home. So that's less cost.
Yep.
Efficient.
Yep. The major thing in terms of doing it at your own house is better food.
Better food. And even though they say it's organic, there's nothing like right from the garden to the table.
Perfectly fresh, yep.
Yeah, so no fertilized, sprayed, nothing sprayed on the food. This is good news. Good news for Muskegon, and we thank Lane for taking the time to be with us. In closing, do you have any words that you would like to say?
Take the class, come on out. It's good stuff. Next year you'll be healthier you'll be healthier after than before you took this class.
Sounds exciting. All of you gardening enthusiasts and all of you that like to play around with plants and you love fish, sounds like the class for you. So once again, this is Muskegon Community College Community Outreach Update. And we welcome you to join us the next time when we once again will go into our community and discuss what we have to offer to you. Thank you for listening. I am Mary Ann Williams, and we will talk with you again next time.